There are two people who will wake up at the same time tomorrow morning. 6:15, same alarm, same city, roughly the same income, somewhere around $48,000 a year. The first one reaches for their phone before their eyes fully adjust. 40 minutes of scrolling later, they're running late, skipping breakfast, and already behind before the day has officially started. They'll work 8 hours, come home tired, watch 3 hours of television, and go to sleep, having moved no closer to anything they actually want. The second one wakes up, spends 30 quiet minutes reading something that sharpens their thinking, moves their body for 20 minutes, and before leaving the house, does one small thing, one, that belongs entirely to the financial life they're building. They've been doing this for 11 months. Their savings account has grown by $9,000. A side income they started in a spare bedroom now brings in an extra $600 a month. And the gap between where they are and where they want to be is closing. Not dramatically, not overnight, but measurably every single week. Same income, same city, same alarm clock, completely different trajectories. My name is Anderson. And what separates those two people has almost nothing to do with talent, luck, or opportunity. It has everything to do with what they do in the hours nobody is watching. Today, I want to walk you through the daily habits that make staying poor functionally impossible, not because they're glamorous, but because they compound. The compounding nobody talks about, everyone understands that money compounds. Put a dollar in the right place, leave it alone, and time does the heavy lifting. A single investment of $5,000 at 7% annual returns becomes $38,000 over 30 years without you touching it again. But there is a second kind of compounding that most people completely overlook. And it is more powerful than financial compounding over the short term because it is the thing that creates the money in the first place. Skill compounds, knowledge compounds, habits compound. 30 minutes of deliberate reading every single day. Not scrolling, not passive consumption, but actual focused learning. Adds up to 182 hours of education per year. That is the equivalent of 4.5 full-time work weeks spent purely on expanding what you know and what you're capable of. At that rate, in 3 years, you become genuinely dangerous in almost any field you choose to point yourself at. The person who scrolls for those same 30 minutes accumulates nothing. Not nothing in a dramatic sense, nothing in the most literal, mathematical sense. The gap between those two people widens every single day, invisibly, until one day it becomes impossible to ignore. This is why daily habits are not a productivity cliche. They are the actual mechanism of wealth. Not the only mechanism, but the foundation everything else is built on. Now let's talk about the one target rule. Here is the first place most people quietly destroy their own momentum without realizing it. They spread themselves across too many goals simultaneously. A new fitness routine, a side business, a savings challenge, a new skill, a diet change, all launched in the same month, often the same week. And within 3 weeks, the weight of maintaining all of it collapses everything. They abandon the entire stack and go back to where they started. A mind divided across 20 directions is not ambitious. It is ineffective. The research on cognitive load is unambiguous. Human attention is a finite resource. Every additional goal you add does not merely split your focus, it degrades the quality of focus available to every goal on the list. The people who actually build something pick one meaningful financial target and aim everything at it. 1, not 5, not 3, 1. Maybe that target is eliminating a specific debt. Maybe it's building a 3-month emergency fund to a specific number. Maybe it's generating the first $500 from a skill they're monetizing. Whatever it is, it becomes the organizing principle for every daily decision until it's done. When that target is hit, they pick the next one. They don't celebrate by scattering. They reload and aim again. Over 5 years, This approach produces results that look like exceptional talent from the outside. From the inside, it's just sequencing, doing one hard thing at a time until the list of hard things runs out. What every dollar actually is. Most people think of money as something you earn, spend, and try to have a little left over from. That mental model guarantees a life of financial anxiety, regardless of income. Here is the mental model that changes everything. Every dollar you keep is an employee. Not a metaphor, a functional description of what money actually does when you redirect it correctly. A dollar invested in a low-cost index fund does not sit idle. It participates in the earnings of hundreds of companies simultaneously. It generates dividends. It benefits from price appreciation. It works every hour of every day, including the hours you're sleeping, the hours you're on vacation, and the hours you're too tired to think about money at all. The person who saves and invests $500 a month starting at 25 years old at a 7% average annual return reaches approximately $1.2 million by age 65. The person who starts the same habit at 35 reaches approximately $560,000, less than half, for the same monthly contribution. The decade of delay costs more than $640,000. That is not a motivational statistic. That is arithmetic. The clock is running whether you participate or not. The environment override. Here is something that willpower cannot fix, and most financial advice refuses to say clearly. Your environment is more powerful than your intentions. If every person you spend significant time with complains about money, treats financial struggle as inevitable, and views wealth as something that happens to other people, you will drift in that direction. Not because you're weak, because human beings are social creatures who unconsciously calibrate their behavior to the norms of the people around them. This is not a character flaw. It is how the brain conserves energy. The practical implication is uncomfortable. If your current environment is pulling against the financial life you're trying to build, changing your habits will only take you so far. Eventually, the environment wins. This doesn't mean abandoning people you love. It means deliberately adding influences that pull in the direction you want to go. A podcast from someone who has built what you're trying to build. A community, online or in person, where financial progress is normal. A mentor, even a distant one through books or recorded conversations, who has already solved problems you're currently facing. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your environment. Upgrading the environment is not optional. It is the prerequisite. If this is landing for you so far, take 2 seconds to hit the like button. It genuinely helps the channel, and I notice every single one. Now, the automation principle, good financial habits, maintained by willpower alone, will eventually fail, not because you're undisciplined, because willpower is a depletable resource. By the time you're tired, stressed, emotionally drained, or simply distracted, the willpower that was supposed to protect your savings decision is already gone. The solution is not more discipline. The solution is removing the decision entirely. Automate your savings contribution to transfer the moment your paycheck lands. Before you see it, before you budget around it, before your brain has any opportunity to redirect it towards something immediate and visible. Most people save what's left after spending. Wealthy people spend what's left after saving. That sequence reversal, automated and non-negotiable, is one of the most impactful financial changes a person can make regardless of income level. The same principle applies to debt repayment, to investment contributions, to emergency fund deposits. Every financial habit that depends on a repeated conscious decision is one crisis, one emotional week, or one tempting purchase away from being skipped. Automate it. Remove the decision. Let the system do what willpower cannot sustain indefinitely. Some actionable steps to take this week. Identify the one financial target you are going to focus on exclusively for the next 90 days. Write it down as a specific number and a specific date, not save more money. A precise figure, a precise deadline. This month, audit where your first hour of each day actually goes, not where you intend it to go, where it actually goes. Then redirect 30 minutes of that hour towards something that compounds: a skill, a book, a lesson directly related to your financial target. Starting today, automate one financial habit you have been managing manually. Set up a recurring transfer to savings or investment on the same day your paycheck arrives. Even $50, the amount matters far less than the automation itself. And this year, deliberately add one influence to your environment that pulls in the direction you're trying to go. A community, a resource, a relationship with someone who is further along the path you're on. Your environment will do more for your consistency than any motivational video ever will, including this one. Before you go, let me say this. Those two people I described at the beginning, same income, same city, same alarm, will look almost identical to everyone around them for the first year, maybe two, and then the compounding becomes visible. The savings account that grew by $9,000 in 11 months becomes $22,000 in 2 years. The side income of $600 a month becomes a business that replaces the day job. The daily 30 minutes of deliberate learning produces a skill set that commands a higher rate, a better opportunity, a different room entirely. Staying poor under these conditions requires a specific kind of active resistance. You have to ignore the compounding. You have to keep the environment exactly as it is. You have to keep spending before saving and scrolling before learning and scattering your attention across 20 targets that never quite get reached. Most people don't make those choices consciously. They drift into them through inertia. The work is simply to drift in a different direction, one deliberate daily habit at a time. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not closed in a single dramatic decision. It's closed in 1,000 small ones that nobody else sees, stacked one on top of the other until one day the distance is gone. If you're getting something real out of these videos, consider subscribing. I make one every week, and I try to make every single one worth the time you gave it. I'm Anderson. I'll see you in the next one.